Today we're seeing some strong selling pressure in the overall market, and yes, XRP is feeling the impact, currently down about 5%. But what's really going on? Is this something to worry about, or is it just another typical day in crypto? I'm going to break down everything you need to know about why the market is pulling back, what's really affecting XRP, and whether any of this noise actually changes the big picture. And no, I'm not being paid by Ripple to say any of this. Let's dive right into it. Hey guys, welcome back to Whiteboard Crypto Update. In today's video, we will talk about XRP Future. So be sure to stay focused as you surely don't want to miss out on this. If you are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on post notifications by hitting the bell so you never miss any of our uploads. Please remember, this is not a financial advice video. Markets are flashing red, and it's not just XRP. This downturn is being felt across the board. But when you zoom out and look at the big picture, it becomes clear this pullback is more about global tensions and macroeconomic concerns than anything XRP specific. Recently, a major political post was made involving the positioning of certain military submarines, something I can't name directly here due to platform restrictions, but it relates to rising concerns around the ongoing conflict in different countries. That post added a sense of urgency and caution to the financial world, which naturally spilled into crypto. These geopolitical tensions are real, but let's not pretend they haven't happened before. If you've been in crypto for even a short while, you know that 5% swings are not out of the ordinary. In fact, many seasoned investors see this type of movement as just part of the deal. Still, anytime things get tense in global politics, traders tend to get jittery, and assets like XRP tend to follow suit. Now, I want to make it absolutely clear, I don't believe this is going to become some massive downturn. Even if the situation does escalate further, we've seen this movie before. Take the earlier tensions in the Middle East this year, for example. The market dipped, but what followed? A sharp V-shaped recovery. It's always in the panic where the smart money makes its moves. Alongside these global concerns, the Federal Reserve also recently made headlines with their stance on interest rates. Initially, there was some hawkish language coming from the Fed, suggesting they weren't in a rush to cut rates. But then came the latest labor and jobs data, which changed the game. Suddenly, the odds of a rate cut happening as soon as September doubled, and that's a significant development. For XRP holders, this is crucial, because despite what we're seeing in the short term, the long-term setup for XRP remains intact. There are multiple catalysts still lined up for this year. We've touched on a few in recent videos, but make no mistake, there are more coming, and each one has the potential to move the needle in a big way. And let's be honest, seeing XRP under $3 is still an incredible opportunity. If you're someone looking to increase your holdings, this pullback could be just what you've been waiting for. Markets go up and down, that's the nature of the game. But value doesn't disappear just because the price moves temporarily. Now, before I go any further, I need to issue a warning. Be extremely cautious about the news articles you're reading out there. Today, I came across a story claiming that Bank of America's CEO confirmed official integration of RLUSD into their systems. Sounds exciting, right? Well, here's the problem. There's no verified statement to support that claim. Nothing directly from the CEO. It's just another example of sensational headlines trying to grab your attention. This is exactly why I only talk about news that I've fact-checked myself. Yes, we know Ripple has a long-standing relationship with Bank of America. That's not new. But that's very different from saying there's an official rollout of RLUSD happening. And unless we get solid confirmation from primary sources, it's best to treat stories like that with a heavy dose of skepticism. And since we're already clearing up some misconceptions, let me address something that keeps coming up. Am I being paid by Ripple to promote XRP? No, absolutely not. There's a misconception floating around that Ripple is paying content creators to hype XRP. Let me be completely transparent. Ripple is a multi-billion-dollar enterprise with no need to pay YouTubers or influencers. XRP was created to solve real problems in global finance, particularly in the institutional payment space. What Ripple is focused on is building partnerships, expanding adoption, and rolling out technology, not hiring influencers. The majority of people who talk about XRP online are just passionate investors who understand the tech and the potential. I've been in traditional investing for years before ever touching crypto. I was skeptical at first, just like many others. But once I started researching, really diving deep into the use cases, the partnerships, the tech, that skepticism quickly turned into conviction. And it's that conviction that drives so many people to speak about XRP, not sponsorship. I even put out a message earlier today that I'll paraphrase again here. The XRP community, what many of us call the XRP army, feels like an extended family. The crypto space is still small, still misunderstood, and still judged unfairly by those who haven't taken the time to educate themselves. But that's exactly why community matters. That's why we stick together. It's not about hype. It's about shared understanding and shared vision. Now back to price action. XRP sitting below $3, more specifically around $2.85, is not something to panic about. If anything, this is a huge chance. Opportunities like these don't come around every day. If the market does pull back a bit more, it's not the end of the world. In fact, it could be the perfect moment to load up before the next leg up. We are incredibly early in this journey. XRP isn't just another digital token floating around with no purpose. It's part of a bigger transformation in global finance. It's backed by real tech, real institutions, and real-world use cases. That's not speculation, that's fact, and the documentation is there for anyone willing to read. So, no, I'm not sitting on a lawnmower while giving this talk. What I'm sitting on is a Polaris Ranger. An older one, actually. I like riding it around the yard just to clear my head. And that's where a lot of this reflection comes from. Watching the markets move, thinking about the future, and realizing just how massive the opportunity still is for all of us. We're going to look back at these days, these tiny 5% pullbacks, and realize they were nothing more than stepping stones. Stepping stones on the way to something much, much bigger. Someday we'll be saying, remember when XRP was under $3 while watching it trade at levels we can only imagine right now? Well, guys, that's all we have for you today. What are your thoughts on XRP? Get involved and let us know in the comments down below. Thank you.